Welcome to DevVenture with MTK. So this is the 53rd session in our Space Shooter DevVenture, and I have a full hour this time. so we should be able to do a little bit more. Actually, no, I don't have a full hour. My apologies again. Seems we only have 40 minutes. I have to go somewhere at 3 o'clock, and it's currently 20 past. Today just wasn't my day. I was running late. Anyway, we'll get as far as we can, and if we don't make it, we don't make it. All right? I'm just updating comment in the meantime. So, just before starting the stream, I posed the question to Perplexity. What is the next thing we should do? Because I finished the debug statements and all of those things in the last session, if you remember. So I highlighted flee as a viable next step, but I wanted to know if there was anything important that needs to precede flee, that we need to finish off before we can move on to flee, in terms of the current layer. Or shell, or whatever you want to call it, current layer of the onion, right? Using that same Shreknik metaphor. So it turns out, no, there isn't anything else we need to do, and flee is a good block of work to do next. It's directly relevant to the existing attack pattern of arrival, shoot, and flee, so it isn't a premature optimization, as it says here. And what is most important, what's the most important next thing to do, right? So given your current state, the attack pattern contract is locked in and documented. So seek, arrival, and shoot are implemented and integrated. And the attack pattern already references a flee behavior, but it is not implemented yet. This means that the most valuable next step for the operational layer is to implement type behavior flee in the same style as seek and arrival. So the API is activate, enemy ship ID with parameters, deactivate, and process with delta. The signal should be behavior completed with the ship ID, the flee, and status with data. And then the logic, steer away from a threat or target until outside a configurable so-called danger radius, and then complete, right? So this will make the attack pattern truly complete, and it will give you another reusable steering behavior for other patterns, like panic, retreat, regroup, etc. And if you agree, the next step, if you agree, then the next message can sketch the exact type behavior flee script, matching your current coding style and ship fields, so you can just paste it in and wire it under the NPC behavior manager. Okay, so let's do this. Before we start with that, I just want to sketch out, like they said, sketch out the script, right? But I want to actually sketch out what flee is going to do. So let me go to a new document in Krita and choose a different pen. The fine liner is a good pen. Set the thickness to 3. And then I'll get my tablet out and we'll start sketching. Okay? So okay, that's good. Just zoom in over here on this part. And we always keep a corner of our current space visible so that we know the extent of where we are and how much we are, how close we are to borders, right? So I have a reference to the border at as little of the border as visible as possible, but you need to have the border visible so that you know where they are, right? So I'm gonna make a, oh well, I already have brown, that's good. So, so what I want to do now is add in some type of obstacle. right? Because we're dealing with a pirate ship. So that means an obstacle is going to be some type of asteroid. Right? And maybe a little bit of a darker color too, just to add some texture to the shape. And add in a little bit of gray, like a silver ore. Okay, so that's the asteroid. Got some metal and stone and maybe a little bit of ice in there too. Okay, and now we'll add in our pirate ship. We'll just do some reddish color for the pirate ship, right? And the idea is we wanna make the pirate ship head towards some type of waypoint, right? So let's do the waypoint color too. Yellow, I think, maybe not yellow, magenta, purple. Yeah, let's do magenta. Why not? So this is our waypoint, okay? And this is our pirate. So let's do the pirate ship. All right, so the pirate ship is doing some type of seek behavior towards the waypoint. And we'll just throw some kind of attack wings on this pirate vessel so it looks less like an actual arrowhead. No, I'm messing this up. So just something like this. And then we'll just draw a windshield on there. All done. Okay, so now we've got our pirate ship. We can draw in our vector, which is going to be this. Switch over to my actual mouse so that I can draw better. Something like that. We'll zoom in, and then we'll just color that in with an arrowhead. Like this, right? And so we'll call this, what are we going to call it? We'll call it seek, right? So we'll call it vector seek. So that will be S, K, and that's a vector, right? So we have this radius surrounding the asteroid, and I want to change the color and not use foreground color. I'll use not filled instead. Or maybe we'll use pattern, outline. No, not filled. And we'll draw some kind of radius around this. Like that. Okay. And then switch to a paintbrush. Just make it like a dashed line. So I know I'm taking a little bit of time to make it look really nice. And the reason for that is so that it's easier for us to refer to this later, right? We can come back to this at any point and see, oh, that's the diagram we used to explain flee. So the idea is we want to maintain that safe distance, right? So we'll call this a radius. So from there to there is a radius. We'll call this radius. We'll make it a little bit bigger so it's more legible. Radius. and then switch to size 2 instead. Zoom in. We'll make this radius sub D for danger. Right, and then we'll just erase. Yeah, that looks good. We'll just erase this bit there, and now it looks like a real R. There we go. Radius sub D, the danger radius. And so, or as you might want to call it, the danger zone. No, we don't. It's just the danger radius. Okay? And then we want to make sure that the pirate ship, I'm just thinking, I'm not actually reading anything on the table or anything. I'm literally just thinking, in case you were wondering. So if you think about it, we want to have two radii, right? We want a second radius, which is going to be kind of like a greenish lime color, maybe a little bit pale green, lime colored radius like this one, and we'll just draw it like we'll make it much bigger than that, something like this, kind of, right? And the idea for this one, of course, is that this is the distance which we need to exceed before fleet terminates. Okay, and let's just go ahead and do the dashes. Put a dash there and a dash there. We'll make the pen size a bit thicker. A dash there and there. Okay, so that's the radius for safety. So we'll call that the safe zone or something. We'll use maybe the same green, and we'll draw an arrow out to meet it, kind of like this. Then we'll zoom in and we'll draw that vector. Is it a vector or is it just a arrow? It's a distance. A scalar, but okay. It does have a direction. Kind of. No, it doesn't. Never mind. Anyway, change this to be of thickness 1. And then we'll write this as RS, safe radius. That's radius safe. And then we can zoom in and just clean up that S a little bit. And yeah. So that's radius safe. That's radius distance. Just get my arrow. Safe radius, danger radius, the seek vector. And so now we want to do some type of maneuver when we hit this point here. So let's make a little spark for the collision point. Something like this. And then set this to 3 again, so it's easier to draw. Something like that. We'll draw little sparks to signal that there's been a collision here, right? As a warning, so that's now supposed to be the signal that flashes, saying, oh, we've reached the danger radius. And that's far enough away to give the pirate enough maneuver room to swerve, right? And that will obviously be configurable based on the pirate ship's speed and so on. So we can add that later as functionality to determine, depending on how fast the pirate is going, we can adjust that danger radius so that the swerving, the agility of the pirate actually depends, or rather determines that danger radius. But for now we can keep it a fixed value. We'll just do trial and error, figure out what's a comfortable radius away from a collision object, and then keep that permanently fixed until we add that functionality on. Okay? So when it makes this collision, we need to have an adjustment, right? We don't want, so here's the thing, we don't want to make the pirate ship do a 180-degree flip around and go backwards. We want to do at most a 90-degree rotation, right? So, well, no, that's at least a 90-degree rotation. It needs to be tangential to the circle or the sphere, right? And at most a what is it, 120, so 30 degrees extra on top of the tangent. So let's do that. We've got the orange color, so we want a range that's kind of like this to that. Okay, we can switch this to 1 pixel, and now we're saying this angle here is 30 degrees. And we can call this flea arc angle, or we can call this angle the flea range. Flea, so flea wow, that's terrible. Flea angle range. And we'll just clean up that E a little bit. Okay, so I think that works for now anyway. And we wanted to leave the safe zone and then also have another angle, right? So I'm just thinking about this. I want the return, so the radius of the safe zone, to have a similar angle range for when the pirate ship has its return, right? So it should have this kind of like bounce and then bounce, right? So it should have this kind of opportunity to swerve out like this, and then when it hits here, it should swerve back. And by the time it does that, you'll notice it does this like almost like a question mark, and it will make its way back to the waypoint while avoiding the danger zone, the danger radius, right? So we want this to trigger a seek, another seek behavior. So let's try and get that. So if I do this and I change my color to a yellow, or maybe just like a bright green, right? Then we can enable this. So if there's a collision over here, we need to have a return angle, which is also going to be tangential. And so we'll do a tangent like this, and a tangent like that. And this will also be 30 degrees. So this here is 30 degrees. And we'll call this the return angle radius, right? So we'll write that out here. Say return angle range. There we go. So you can kind of see that, right? If you follow the straight lines, it's kind of like ping, pong, ping. But because we've got seek, which is a continuous adjustment in direction, it'll be more like ping, pong, arc, like this. And so then we're fine, right? The whole point is literally just don't hit objects that will hurt the pirate ship or the AI, whatever the AI acting agent is. So the AI actor, rather. we decided not to use the term agent because agent has another meaning nowadays. So that's fine. I can save this, but I'll save that later. It's fine. For now, we can just get back to this, right? So let me do this. Here's how I want to do the flee behavior. Firstly, there is a, what did it call, the danger radius. Okay, there's a danger radius. as you suggested. And there is a safety radius which is larger than the danger radius that signals when the AI actor has moved far enough away from the danger radius. Secondly, there is a range of angles that the AI actor can choose from. So the first one is minimal deflection angle. Is 90 degrees from direct collision course, i.e. tangential heading, and maximal deflection angle is 120 degrees from direct collision course, i.e. 30 degrees from min heading, from min deflection, right? And the point here is this will keep the AI actor from doing weird behaviors like a full retreat when a simple course adjustment would have sufficed. Right? And what was the third thing we wanted to say? Was there anything else we wanted to say? No. The third thing we can say is after the AI actor reaches the safety radius, there should be another signal to inform the tactical layer that the flee operation is done and the next behavior can begin. Right? So remember, it was arrival, shoot, flee. Arrival, shoot, flee. Arrival, shoot, flee. And so if we look at this again, it'll be arrival, hits something like the danger radius, flees from it, gets to the safe radius, and then goes back to arrival. You see that? And then it'll be arrival, shoot, flee. And so the waypoint itself could also have a danger radius. So we could add that in, and it could also have its own safety radius. And by doing it this way, we can generalize it to mean like, oh, it can, you know, oh yeah, we could actually make it flee doesn't always activate because some collision objects are targets while others are not. An asteroid is not a target, therefore shooting it will not make it go away, and the only solution is to avoid slash dodge, to avoid slash dodge it, i.e. flee. What do you think? Excuse me. What do you think about these points? Do you have anything else to add to this? These points make good sense and fit well with standard steering flee avoid patterns, while keeping your attack logic sane. Radii and completion. So the danger radius versus the safety radius is a solid design. Inside the danger radius, the behavior is actively steering away. Outside the safety radius, the behavior can emit completed and let the pattern advance. This matches how Arrival already uses radii and tolerances and will be easy to tune in the same way. The deflection angle range. Using a deflection band, 90 to 120 off the threat vector instead of pure run straight away is a good idea. It avoids hard 180-degree retreats when a tangential dodge is enough. It also helps ships keep roughly in combat space rather than constantly backing off to infinity. Yeah, exactly. Implementation wise, for a single threat vector, you can compute the direct flee direction, normalized vector from danger to ship, and then rotate it randomly within the allowed angle band around an axis, vector 3 up or the ship's local up, and then steer towards the heading. Completion signaling. After the AI actor reaches the safety radius, another signal is already covered by your pattern system. Flee should emit behavior completed and a reason. And then the NPC behavior manager will then advance to the next behavior in the pattern. No extra tactical level signal type is needed, just the standard behavior completed, plus any pattern level logic you already have. Selection activation, only for non-target threats. The idea of some collision objects are targets, others are not, is important. For general attack targets, arrival and shoot patterns handle engagement, and for non-target obstacles like asteroids or mines or depth charges or whatever else, then flee or avoid, right, should be chosen instead. This routing should likely happen before flee activates. Higher layers or a local avoidance system can decide when to assign a flee pattern versus an attack pattern based on what was detected. Flee itself can assume that the provided danger source or danger position is already something that must be avoided and not shoot. One extra suggestion. The only addition worth considering is to make flee accept either a concrete danger node or position, like danger node or danger position, or a pre-computed danger direction, so tactical operational can feed in the net avoidance direction. If you ever combine multiple obstacles, like steering away from the worst of several threats. Oh, a pre-computed danger direction, so that the tactical operational layer can feed in the so-called net avoidance detection. Avoidance direction, my mistake. It's like the if you have a cluster of objects that you want to avoid, then instead of just avoiding one, you avoid the net direction away from them all. You know, the best deflection angle for all objects that you were going to collide with in the general direction, you know? So that's something to consider. So steering away from the worst of several enemies. If you have like 5 enemies like this, and this one was the worst one, and you're over here somewhere like there, then avoid that one and have a net direction away from them all. Because to avoid it this way would be kind of silly, because now you're going towards the others, right? That's not a very good idea. And you kind of want to go up instead of down, or towards the others. You'll go away in a net direction. If you're happy with this, then the next step can be to sketch type behavior flee with a danger radius, a safety radius, a minimum deflection angle degree, a max deflection angle degree, and exports. Parameter keys, danger node, danger position, optional danger direction, and the logic to choose the deflected flee heading and complete once outside the safety radius. Yeah, so I am happy with this. But unfortunately, we have reached 3 o'clock. We are about 2 minutes away from 3, and I like I said, I do have to go. So I'm gonna have to cut this live stream a bit short today. My apologies again for starting late. But yeah, well, not hopefully. Tomorrow we will start earlier, and we'll have a full hour together. And yeah, so I'm gonna close off now and say thank you so much to Cubes. He's our junior DevVenturer. That's the middle tier of the memberships on my Ko-fi page. And the rest of you are welcome to go and check out my Ko-fi page. The link is over here at the bottom of the screen, and also in the description of all the live stream videos, as well as the link to the Discord server, which is my next point, right? Please do join the Discord community. It is a community. I established it especially for you. You can join it and communicate with your fellow community members and with me. And I'll be uploading all the notifications of all the different content that I create. It will feature on the Discord server as the primary hub for everything, right? So do join the Discord server. And then the other ways you can support the channel, of course, is to like, subscribe, and share the link to this video and every other live stream that you watch with as many people as you can, right? Because if you, if you can't support me financially, maybe one of the other people you share it with can, right? And that's how the channel grows, because I do need that, that financial support from you guys. And it is very much appreciated. So, every little bit helps. So anyway, that's enough promoting. It's now 3 o'clock and I do have to go. So thank you so much for your time and your attention, and I'll see you in the next live stream.